Hello, we're going to pick up with number 6. This is where we left off yesterday. So they're telling me that AC is 30. So I'm going to go ahead and mark my AC. My goal is to solve for AB as a whole number. So whatever you're trying to find, that's what you want to label your variable. So I'm going to make this X. That means that my length of BC is going to be 30 minus that X. I'm then going to set up my proportion. They're both touching A, so that's going to be my first fraction. And these two are touching C, so that's going to be my second fraction. But then I'm going to go ahead and cross multiply. From here, you can go ahead and solve for X. And then you want to divide by that 32. So go ahead and pause it and see if you can solve for X. You should have come up with 14.0625, and because it asks for the nearest unit as in a whole number, your answer should be 14. Let's go ahead and move on to question number 7. In a right triangle, we're at ABC, so let's go ahead and draw our triangle. So A is 90, that's B and C. Just talking about SOHCAHTOA. This is the sine of B, so looking at B, so that would be your opposite and your hypotenuse has a value of Q. The cosine of B would be your adjacent, and your hypotenuse has a value of R. And the tangent of B is S. It's opposite over adjacent. What would be the sine of C? So again, sine of B. So that would be your opposite. That would be your AC over your BC. Your cosine of B would be your adjacent, which would be your AB over your BC, and your tan of B is your AC over AB. Now this is all very important because when we go to find the sine of C, we're going to write that out as opposite over hypotenuse and then look back at the originals and see which one it matches, because that's going to give us our answer. So if we do the sine of C, sine again, we're going to look at angle C down here, opposite over hypotenuse. So look at the original 3. Which one has AB over BC? Oh, the cosine does. These two match. The cosine of B was R, so your answer is R. Let's take a look at 8. To the nearest degree. So we're going to have to use that inverse sign. All right, or cosine. Angle C, we have opposite and hypotenuse. Opposite and hypotenuse. Again, SOHCAHTOA. Opposite and hypotenuse would be sine. So to find the sine of C, that would be 4/9. So I'm going to use my inverse of 4/9. And use your calculator. .38 degrees. But the directions tell me to give a whole number. So my answer would be 26 degrees. Again, feel free to pause this video at any time. Go back if I'm going too fast. Whatever works for you. Number 9. So this problem looks really intimidating. It is one giant large right triangle, and then it has smaller triangles laying on top of it. So here's what I like to do. I like to pick a height for all of the triangles. I'm going to use a height of 5. Then I'm going to look at the different lengths. So here at 1, I'm going to say this has a length of 1. From 1 to 2, 2. From 1 to 3, 3. And from 1 to 4, 4, we're going to have a base length of 4. It says, which one has the largest tangent? So looking at the numbers, so they're asking us to find the tangent of angle 1. Tangent is TOA, opposite over adjacent. The opposite side is 5, the adjacent side is 1. Find the tangent of angle 2. Your opposite side is 5. Your adjacent side is at bottom, which would be 2. The tangent of angle 3, opposite over that base angle, excuse me, base length. Tangent of the last angle, 4, would be 5/4. So, who has the largest angle? Well, largest tangent. Well, what is 5 divided by 1? 5 divided by 2. 5 divided by 3. And 5 divided by 4. Which decimal is the largest? 5. So angle 1 would be your answer. You can put any numbers you want in here to figure this out. But the main thing is that as you go from angle 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, that the base length is getting longer because the triangle is elongated. Again, feel free to pause at any time. Excuse me. Number 10, find x. So we're going to go ahead and set up a proportion. Cross multiply. Make sure that when you cross multiply here, you're giving the 6 to the 5 as well. Go ahead and solve. Move your like terms together. Then we find that x has a value of 5. So this would be 5, and this would be 10. 6 divided by 12 is half. 5 divided by 10 is half. You know that the proportions are equal. All right, so for number 11, oh, my question got cut off. Number 11 says, what is the exact value of cosine of x? So that's what it says on your worksheet. So cosine of x, cosine is ca, adjacent over hypotenuse. So adjacent would be 4 over 20. So that is your answer, but you can simplify it down to 1/5. That is your exact value. It does not ask for an angle measure, so you're going to leave it as a fraction. Number 12, value of x. So again, start your 90 degrees. X comes down, x touches 4 and 9. So we're going to use geometric means. So x is 6. 4 times 9 is 36. We square root that to get a value of 6. Exact value of the cosine of x. So again, cosine is ca, adjacent and hypotenuse. So I'm going to use the 12 and the 13. I do not need the 5. Oops, wrong number. Okay, I said that and I wrote it. 12 13. That's your answer. Again, feel free to go back, pause, do whatever you need to check this before you submit it today. So for 14, it tells us that EF is parallel to BC. Can you find AC? So I'm going to label this X and know that I'm going to use that later to find the entire length. So I have my proportion. We're going to solve for x. By cross multiplying. And now we're going to divide by the coefficient. So x is 10. That is not my answer to the question. So I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to label this side here 10. The question asks for the whole length. So that would be 8 plus 10, which is a length of 18. So 18 units. Careful, because I know in the quiz we made a couple mistakes on this, or the last classwork we did. 15 is multiple choice. So, if we have x over x plus y, you would have to then take z over z plus w. Does number 1 match with that? No. Does number 2 would match with that? Yeah, it's just the reciprocal. They just took the fractions and flipped them. So 2 works. Number 3 says that they took y over w and they did, sorry, can't read, y over x, had a moment there. And then so they went from the bottom up, so this one should be w over z, which it is, so 3. So number 2 and number 3, both are different types of proportions that you could set up to solve if you had the number of values. Triangle CDA is given. BD bisects angle ADC, so we know that these two are the same. What is the perimeter? So we have to solve for x and x plus 5 to find that, so then we can go ahead and add up all the lengths. Proportion, and this is the other proportion. Cross multiply. Make sure you distribute your 10, it goes to everybody. So 10x plus 50, and then we're going to solve for x. Move over my my variable. I'm left with a constant of 50, and then divide. So I can go back up here now and say that this length here is 5. This is 5 plus 5. So this has a value of 10. To find perimeter, perimeter is adding up all the edges, all the sides. So we know that this side here is 15, plus this side here is 20, plus this side here is 10. And plus what's here? So 20 plus 10 is 30, plus 15 is 45 units. That is the perimeter of triangle ADC. All right.